How are you doing, everyone? I am the Yu-Gi-Oh! Scrub. But as always, if you're subscribed, all 451 of you, I know, it's crazy. Didn't think I would hit 451. It's the greatest day of my life. Almost hit 500, and then 1,000, and then 1 trillion. Just hit that button. You could be the 1 trillionth. Regardless, hope you're having a great day. And if you're subscribed, call me Bailey. Uh, right now, my favorite part of the day. I get to play some Yu-Gi-Oh! And record. Worst part of the day, because my girlfriend's in the other room and probably hearing me talk about Dark Dust Spirit, Grandmarg, and Jinzo, thinking like, what the hell is this guy talking about? I can't believe an adult man is making these nonsense words. But that's her problem, not mine. We are playing a deck that I got inspiration from watching Goat World channel. It uses brain control in Goat format to summon Dark Dust Spirit and just other tributes. So we'll talk about it real fast. Obviously, it revolves around 3 brain control. I think that it's just an incredibly broken card. In Edison format, it is at 1. It's in 3 at Goat format. So I'm like, how can I abuse this incredibly powerful card that can just steal a BLS, steal a Chaos Sorcerer, steal something that your opponent wants, and just do whatever you want with it. Go for damage, whatever. We're going to use Dark Dust Spirit, because it can just pop the board. It is a spirit, so it does come back to your hand at the end of the turn, which can be good for potential more brain control uses if you need to always have a tribute in your hand, but it can pop the field, it can do some stuff. We're running 1 Grandmarg, as it'll become apparent in just a few moments. We're running Earths in this deck, so Grandmarg kind of slept on. I think it's not too bad. It can take a monster with brain control and then tribute over it, pop a back row, maybe force the back row out. And then we're running Jinzo because, as you can see, if you're looking at the deck, we're running basically the bare minimum of traps in this deck. 2 Metamorphoses as other ways to abuse the monsters we take with brain control. We take a Chaos Sorcerer. I know we can always just banish it, but we can also make a level 6 fusion. I think it's going to be interesting. It's a little bit weird because we're not running scapegoats or anything to like level 1s to convert into obviously the most powerful fusion in the format, the 1,000 Dice Restrict, but we are running the Sinister Serpent, so if we do get that into rotation, I mean, it's an incredibly powerful card alongside things like Tribe Infecting Virus and Metamorphosis. We're going to be able to still, make that 1,000 Dice Restrict, which is important, but 2 Metamorphosis, don't want to brick on it, but also want to see it. Running 2 Gigantes, that's why we're running Earths in this deck, and it is good because it can special summon itself. It is also other kind of forms of Heavy Storm, because when it's destroyed by battle, it will wipe all of the back row on the field, so more back row hate. Unfortunately, it's not when it hits the graveyard. That would be incredible if it was like tributed over and became a Heavy Storm as well. But it's a free special summon, which is somewhat rare in Goat format. You have to banish an Earth to do it. So for Earths, we're running 2 Goblin Attack Force. I'm just on a Goblin Attack Force roll recently. I love this card. 2,300, 0, attack over basically anything in the format. Besides like BLS and DMOC are like the common cards, and then the occasional like Jinzo 2,400 beaters. But other than that, a few cards here and there. Goblin Attack Force just gets over absolutely everything. Then it goes to defense, and what I love is even when it's in defense, your opponent then is like, oh, I have to get rid of this beefy guy. I can't let it switch to attack a few turns later and get another plus. So it kind of forces them to play into it. And like if you just have a set Mirror Force and all of a sudden they summon a monster, you just Mirror Force, and now they're back to square one. Not the card back to square one, though. That's an interesting card nonetheless. Of course, if we're running Warriors, we're going to be running the Exiled Force, Mystic Swordsman level 2, DD Warrior Lady, 1 Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke, and Don Zalug. No Blade Knight because we kind of can get over those face downs with things like the Mystic Swordsman level 2 or Exiled Force, also double Nobleman across out. And we just don't have enough monsters or spells and traps really to set and get it beefy. And we kind of want to be putting monsters on the field anyway, so we're not running that. We are running the 1 Don Zalug, because like, it'd be nice if you just brain control your opponent's monster, summon Zalug, and then hit their hand. 1 Injection Fairy Lily, because it's another Earth, and it can just get over any monster at the price of 2,000 life points. To help kind of work with the tributes, we're running Mystic Tomato, because I love Mystic Tomato, getting ourselves Sangan, which is probably the best card to just tribute over in Goat format, just because you get a free plus for the tribute. And Sangan can get things like one of your Warriors, your Sinister Serpent, etc., etc., the Injection Fairy Lily. Of course, we're running Delinquent Duo, Graceful Charity, Pot of Greed, Heavy Storm, MST, Premature Burial, Snatch Steal, all the good one-ofs, double Nobleman across out, double Reinforcing the Army, 1 Smashing Ground, because since we're not running many traps, we do want a little bit extra removal. And then I did say Breaker, Tribe Infecting Virus as well. Tribe being more removal, Breaker being more back row removal, and then Call the Haunted, Mirror Force, running Destruction, and Torrential Tribute. Call being great because we were running Jinzo and Sangan. Side deck is what it is. Dust Wombat, my favorite card inside, just to make sure that we don't lose to burn. The only real extra deck cards, normally you don't have to talk about this at all, and frankly you don't have to, so I always add it since there's no limit in GOAT format for the extra deck. But just for ease of access, we don't have to actually type it in. We're running the Fusionist, Cybersource, and Empress Judge. The reason these are relevant, even though they'll be not very relevant at all, and you probably will never make them, but they are the biggest Earth fusion monsters at their level that can be special summoned with Metamorphosis. So it can be kind of important to, potentially go into an Empress Judge, Cybersource, or Fusionist, just so you can get that extra Earth in rotation for the Gigantes. But now that all of that is said, and we've talked about the deck a little bit, let's get to what you guys have actually wanted to see, which is me losing in some duels, getting sent to the Shadow Realm. Click this button for your viewing pleasure. Hopefully the audio pleasure. I haven't seen many comments about my audio besides one guy being like, mics are expensive, which I appreciate. Everyone has subscribed despite the fact that my audio might not be up to professional levels. Maybe someday I'll get there. Finally found a match. I've been loving GOAT format recently. I know when I came back to this channel not too long ago, was making a lot more Edison format videos, and I still like Edison format, but something about GOAT recently has been really tickling that nerve that I have. Also, one of you talked about, why don't I use ad blocker? And I finally clicked the button. I was like, you know what? Although I respect the fact that I was giving some cash money to Dueling book, might as well, for your viewing pleasure, make it so ads do not pop up. Opening hand is Heavy Storm, Metamorphosis, Goblin Attack Force, Dark Dust Spirit, and Tribe Infecting Virus. Like this opening hand, Heavy Storm stops him if he wants to set many back row. Goblin Attack Force gets over pretty much anything he wants to set. He will discard the Thunder Dragon, getting himself likely 2 Thunder Dragons, but maybe 1. And of course he's getting both, because my opponent never draws 2 Thunder Dragons. Only ever 1. Is he going to follow it up with a Graceful Charity? Oh my goodness, I'm a genius. I can read him like a book. The classic combo, discard Thunder Dragon again. Did he? That was 3. Yeah. I don't know why I was like, I feel like he drew 4, but I'm also thinking because, it's Pot of Greed. He discards 1 Thunder Dragon and 2 Thunder Dragon. Okay, so at least no Sinister Serpent in the game, unless maybe he decided to keep it in hand for, I don't know, Regeki Break or something. He Delinquent Duos. Hitting Dark Dust Spirit. I'll get rid of the Metamorphosis. So he sees a little bit of our deck, the Dark Dust being something a little unique. We are down pretty bad, but if he sets a few back row, sets 2 back row. If one of these is Dust Shoot, I'm probably quitting. Not quitting, but admitting defeat. Alright, we'll go ahead, try to take our plus with the Heavy Storm. It was an MST and a Jar of Greed. Okay, so no plus for us. And we'll summon Goblin Attack Force and just try to attack over this monster. I feel like it's a Dekoichi. I'm on fire right now. Okay, so 3 cards that we have to my opponent's 6 cards. He does have a Light in the Darkened Grave because of the Thunder Dragons that he discarded and the Dekoichi I just attacked over, but obviously. And he has Pot of Greed. I mean, this is just how it goes sometimes. Yep, that's fine. My opponent had the nastiest opening you can possibly have with a Chaos Turbo deck. Which is, I'm assuming, what he's playing. Definitely what he's playing after I see an Upstart Goblin, like 99.99. Which is fine. Sometimes you gotta go up against the best deck. Can't beat the best deck if you never play against the best deck. Though, my odds of beating him, I'd say, are pretty low at the moment. He summons Sinister Serpent. I'm just going to have to let that go through. I'm not going to waste a Ring of Destruction on Sinister Serpent. Especially because he could just get it back next turn and then get the Goblin Attack Force. Attack it again. Because Goblin Attack Force has to wait 1 full turn of mine before he can do anything. Alright, I'm going to admit... I'll let it play out just a little bit. You know, I'm sure he's assuming that I'm running Tribe. It's not really anything that would be too crazy for him to see. You know, I just feel like it's a little early. He Regeki breaks. Discarding what? That's fine. I'll take that free plus. Interesting that he wanted to protect the Sinister Serpent that badly. It seems kind of surprising. I mean, he keeps the monster on field. Maybe he doesn't have a monster to get over the Tribe. Hits me for 1,000 with the Sangan attack. And sets another back row. We draw Premature Burial. We could get Goblin Attack Force. We could get Tribe. I'll end my turn. I don't think it's worth trying to Premature. Because what am I going to do? Attack over Sangan and give him a plus, attack over the Sinister Serpent and let him get it back to his hand. I can just eat the 1,000 damage from the Sangan attack. I'm on an 8-turn clock. We draw Brain Control. I think we'll set the Brain Control. He might Dust Tornado it or something. No Dust Tornado. But I don't want to keep it in hand and risks. We've seen a Trap Dust Shoot, so I don't want to give him an opportunity to Trap Dust Shoot me by keeping it in hand and then drawing into a 4th card. He'll hit me again for 1,000 damage with the Sangan attack, keeping Sinister Serpent in defense position for good reason. 300 attack per turn is really not a reason to risk a big attack coming in. Alright, we draw Goblin Attack Force now. We'll summon Goblin Attack Force. He Torrential Tributes. That's fine. Let's see what he gets with the Sangan. That it? Yep. Declare the Sangan effect. I appreciate it in the sense that he is being good about declaring effects and all that, making no room for errors or mistakes, but like, come on, bud. I think we understand what's going on. I am going to Premature now. Go for the Goblin Attack Force. And just try to attack directly. It'll go to defense, and we'll end our turn here. Nobleman across out next turn would be an incredible draw. Standby is fine. He's getting back his Sinister Serpent. So he's got the advantage on us. Has a Magician of Faith and Sinister Serpent in hand. 2 back row that we don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if at least one of them is a Jar of Greed. I was about to say it, I swear. I'm on fire. I'm not going to Solemn Judgment a Jar of Greed. But I appreciate you asking if it's okay. That would be the dumbest thing I think you could ever do is Solemn a Jar of Greed. You know, despite if it's like, 0 cards in your opponent's hand and clearly there. We will hit the breaker for 1,600. So that's his normal summon gone. I wonder if he's planning on banishing. He could put us under Brain Control range if he does have a BLS here. I suppose he could also, he is viewing the graveyard. I think he's going to go for it. Yep. Banish a light and a dark. Probably, yeah, Takoichi's the worst. Summoning what? Summoning the BLS in attack position. He will destroy Goblin Attack Force and hit us for 3,000. Unfortunately, we are now out of brain control range, and he is just outside the range for a direct BLS attack with Snatch Steal. He sets a couple of back row. We draw Metamorphosis. We'll shuffle, make him think that maybe we got the Snatch Steal this turn. We'll try to take the Snatch Steal. With the Snatch Steal, take the Blackluster Soldier Envoy of the Beginning. What a broken card this is. So sick. And we'll just try to attack directly. We have not seen Heavy Storm, so I'm going to Metamorphosis this. Going into the Gatling Dragon. And we'll end. Reason I did that is because if he did have Heavy Storm or Dust Tornado or something, if he had a Dust, he probably would have dusted the Snatch Shield, like 99% certainty. He would just dust the Snatch Shield, not take that damage. But I'm wondering if he took it thinking I can just Heavy Storm next turn and then attack. Alright, that's game. He had the Snatch Shield of his own, which was fine. It was close. Alright, we'll bring in Soul Release and Kaikus. Take out Nobleman was good. Don't think we need the Grand Mark. He has too much back row that he can chain. Fairy Lily seems fine. Take out the bringing in Heavy Storm can still just be so good. Maybe over the Breaker. Having 2 decrees. I think this seems fine. There we go. I'm making so many tiny little adjustments. We got it. The Jinzo, Double Decree, Soul Release, Kaikus. Taking out the Call of the Haunted, right? No, we kept that in. Let's put a Mind Control in. Or do we keep a Smash and Ground? Alright, well, too late now. We will be going first. I feel like I've been losing game 1 so much recently. Alright, opening hand seems okay. We have Kaiku, Goblin Attack Force, MST, Premature Burial, Graceful Charity, and Mirror Force. Let's go ahead and just summon Goblin Attack Force and end. Maybe could have set the Mirror Force, because we know he runs Trap Dust Shoot, but going second, he may have taken them out. I'm not afraid of him attacking over the Goblin Attack Force. He does discard Thunder Dragon. Getting, of course, as always, 2 Thunder Dragons to his hand. Because why would he ever draw 2 in the opening hand? Only ever me. And I'm sure you guys know too. When you play Thunder Dragons, you draw 2. Because that's how it works. You draw 2, your opponent always draws 1. And he Delinquent Duos. Of course, had a little bit of a fear of a duo, but what can you do? If I set less Alright, he hits the Mirror Force, and I will discard Kaiku. Make him feel like, it's not that big of a threat, when in reality I have Premature Burial to bring it back. And watch him now have Graceful Charity or something crazy. He sets one monster, any back rows. One back row, two back row, and ends. Standby main. In theory, probably with priority should have activated MST because he couldn't dust shoot, but too little too late. Let's go ahead, hit. Hit the closest to deck. It will not let me target the classic dueling book bug. Me target, so I'm saying the closest back row to the deck. I feel like that's a pretty common glitch that happens on Dueling Book. I don't think it's that difficult to understand, but whatever. Ring of Destruction, okay. Unfortunate, but that's fine. We'll go ahead and activate Graceful Charity. Drop Metamorphosis, Dark Dust Spirit, and Ring of Destruction. We'll discard this is actually pretty tough. Maybe Meta and Dark Dust. We'll discard Meta and Dark Dust. Activate Premature Burial. Targeting, okay, it's fine. Target the Kaiku. Banish the Dark Dust for a Gigantes. And let's attack. I don't think he would have set Mirror Force and Ring of Destruction. Though he does pop the Kaiku with a Night Assailant that he had set. That's fine. We'll set our own Ring of Destruction, so we're definitely negative here. The goal there was to just get some damage and then hopefully get Ring of Destruction so we could be pretty close to just killing him. We've both paid some life points for our card activations. I paid 800 for Premature Burial. He paid 1,000 for Delinquent Duo. He sets another monster. And is waiting. And we're waiting. Still waiting. Hopefully everyone's having a fantastic day. If I said this already. If not, go make it a good day, then come back and finish this video. I feel like that back row is a Jar of Greed. Perfect draw. Mystic Swordsman level 2. Maybe Torrential Tribute. Very, not high likelihood, but a small likelihood. It was the Magician of Faith. Perfect. Alright, here's a scapegoat. We'll end our turn. If he has Metamorphosis to then try to take something, we can pop the 1,000 Dice Restrictor with Ring of Destruction. He's viewing his graveyard. Does he have a dark? Yeah, he does a dark with the Night Assailant. So he could banish for a Chaos Monster right now. He doesn't. Well, let's get rid of all of his tokens. And end our turn. So we're putting some pressure on him. We got all the board presence right now. And the ability to pop whatever monster he is to potentially summon with a Ring of Destruction. I think he's going to summon Tribe Infecting Virus. He summons the Snatch Steel. He uses Snatch Steel. Tributing for Jinzo would hurt. Goes to battle. I'll Ring of Destruction. My own Gigantes. I feel like he's playing on mobile right now. Things are just happening slowly. That's my best guess. So he's at 2,800. I'm at 3,000. Very close game so far. I do have game on board. So he has to summon a monster. Which he's about to do. Here comes the Chaos Monster. BLS or Chaos Sork. I'm going to guess Chaos Sork in defense position. BLS in defense position. He banishes my Gigantes. Sasuke Samurai would be a nice draw here. Nobleman a cross out. Well, we'll change this to defense and hope that he just for whatever reason decides to banish with the BLS and not attack. He might believe this is a real back row and just play it a little slow, potentially giving us a yep. So we got Brain Control as an out. We have Exiled Force. Not exactly an out, but we will pop the BLS. Solemn Judgment obviously would stop that. Then go ahead. Nobleman a cross out. Hitting hopefully a Magician of Faith. Gravekeeper Spy. No spies in my deck. But obviously he is in a much better position than we are. With 4 cards, 1 on field, 3 in hand, and we're top decking. He's viewing his graveyard. Chaos Sork coming. Just ends his turn. I think we'll set Delinquent Duo. You can make a serious argument that we should go ahead and use it. He's got 2 Thunder Dragon in hand. That's actually... Wait. Yeah, we know he has 2 Thunder Dragons in hand. We draw Snatch Steel. Where's our Pot of Greed? Haven't seen one. We have the slight life point advantage. We both used Ring. He has Torrential, Mirror Force still available. We draw Soul Release. We'll activate Soul Release, banishing his light monsters and all of his spells in case he draws a Magician of Faith. Kind of interesting too that Soul Release is capable of doing that, because it can just target cards in the graveyard. So you can stop your opponent from using Magician of Faiths. We'll set Torrential Tribute, so at least we have a little bit of defense now, but where are all of our monsters? I feel like we run enough to at least have some top decks. He summons Sangan. I'm going to Torrential Tribute that Sangan. That might seem like the absolute worst Torrential Tribute, and it might be. It very well might be, but I don't want him getting the presence on the board. He obviously just gets a free plus, 1-for-1 Torrential Tribute trade, and then he gets a Sangan search. I get it, but Sangan's a mandatory effect. You activate it, do the good thing. Draw Sinister Serpent, so you could have Regeki Break. I think we saw that in game 1. So I'm thinking Regeki Break set. He has Sinister Serpent and 2 Thunder Dragons in hand. Maybe Premature Burial coming. Technically, he should still be in main phase 1. Because Torrential Tribute obviously can't happen in the battle phase. Alright, we draw Brain Control. We'll set it as a bluff. He has no lights in his graveyard because we got rid of them with our Soul Release. Kaiku would be a good draw. Really, any monster would be a pretty good draw. So he pitches the Thunder Dragon, fails to find. If you don't know that ruling, even if you have all 3 Thunder Dragons out of the deck and it's known because, like it happened on turn 1, in GOAT format, there is ruling called fail to find, so you can just pitch the Thunder Dragon and say, like literally pitch it from your hand and the effect just doesn't resolve. It's not like modern formats where you are forced to resolve the effect. So Chaos Sorcerer will hit me for 2,300, putting me at a low 700 life points, but we have the Snatch Steal. He sets a monster and ends. We'll go ahead, try to Snatch Steal the Chaos Sorcerer. It might get Regeki broken. My best guess is going to be Regeki Break here. He has 1 more Thunder Dragon and Sinister Serpent, though this could be the Sinister Serpent set. We'll try to attack his monster. It was the Sinister Serpent. We'll then go ahead we'll set a monster and end, setting Dark Dust Spirit so we can keep it on the field. And technically, it's actually a pretty interesting interaction because now it becomes a dark hole when it's flipped face up. So in a weird way, it's kind of a defensive position. He gets back his Sinister Serpent. Goblin Attack Force would be a good draw. He does give us 1,000 life points, putting our Brain Control alive again. Very, very interesting. That kind of gives us a potential win condition here. I don't love the amount of back row he has set, but I think we might have something churning. He discards Thunder Dragon, now banishing Chaos Sorcerer and the Thunder Dragon, possibly, for Dark Dust Spirit. Well, not for Dark Dust Spirit, but to then probably attack over the Dark Dust Spirit, but that will pop his monster that he summons, the Chaos Sorcerer. He has to be playing on mobile. Just the slowness of these plays. Alright, and that's game. He had the Nobleman across out, so it was a bluff the whole time. See if he says anything. Alright, he said thanks. Played slow, but that's fine. No big deal. And we will go for a second match. Probably the last match here. We lose the rock, paper, scissors. It's because I acted too quickly. I didn't methodically look at his name and his icon and figure out what he was going to pick. This is clearly a rock picker. Use an X-head cannon. That's a rock picker if I've ever seen one. Alright, opening hand. Looks pretty good. Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke. Reinforcement of the Army, Ring of Destruction, Gigantes, Brain Control, Don Zalug. We'll go and just try to poke with the Don Zalug. He has a Scapegoat. We'll set Ring of Destruction and end. He summons the Asura Priest. We'll go ahead, pop the Asura Priest with Ring of Destruction. Just keep this Don Zalug on the field. Get rid of a kind of pesky monster. We draw a Jinzo, interestingly enough. I don't want to go for it right now because even if that is a back row, he just has too many cards in hand. He could draw Metamorphosis. I think we're going to go for a normal summon of Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke. Maybe we'll have Mirror Force. Nope. Hit 2 tokens and end. We'll keep the Brain Control in hand. Brain Control will be able to also be a conversion with the Jinzo. He gets Delinquent Duo. Hit the Gigantes. He does. Alright, we'll get rid of Rhoda. I think we'll summon Mystic Tomato. If it lets us happen. Okay. No Mirror Force. We're playing aggressive as hell. No Mirror Force. Come on. Come on. No Mirror Force. Ring of Destruction. That's fine. So he's at 39. We're at 4,900 life points. But we have a Brain Control Jinzo and a Mystic Tomato that can convert itself into a Sangan or something. He sets 2 back row, and this could be game here. Yeah, 24 plus 14, 38. So it's not game, but I want to keep the Mystic Tomato. Maybe actually I should have just attacked or attributed. Okay, he has Scapegoat. Makes me feel better about this whole play. And we won't set the Torrential Tribute because it doesn't really matter right now. If he has a Metamorphosis, alright, he's likely going to take Jinzo. Assuming so. Maybe he'd take the Mystic Tomato. But I'd assume he'd just want to take the biggest monster. We'll take 1,000 damage and get ourselves the Sangan. We draw Snatch Steel. We'll set Torrential Tribute and end. If he summons a monster, then we can Torrential. He pitches Thunder Dragon. He has 2 lights engraved, no darks. Getting his 2 Thunder Dragons. There was no point in Brain Conning or Snatch Stealing because I want to do damage. I don't want to just pop the Thousand Eyes Restrict. Alright. Let's go ahead and we'll pop the Thousand Eyes Restrict and just end our turn. 2,500 to 3,900. We have the Torrential Tribute if he tries to go for a Chaos play right here. He Regeki breaks. That's likely going to be game. We'll let him summon one more monster. I assume he has something. Yep, okay. Decrees. Kaiku. We're bringing in Decrees. We'll keep the Nobleman in. Take out Smash and Ground. Take out Tribe. We'll leave in one Jinzo. What else is good here? He actually was running Scapegoats. So Tribe could be pretty good over maybe the Fairy Lily. Take out one Gigantes, because if we're going to be putting continuous Royal Decrees on the field, why would I want to have something that blows up the field? Dark Dust Spirit is good. Metamorphosis isn't too good. Alright, let's see how this goes. Opening hand is Sangan, DD Warrior Lady, Goblin Attack Force, Exiled Force, and Royal Decree. We'll go ahead, I think, and summon the Sangan, set Royal Decree. Opponent starts by pitching a Thunder Dragon. Please only get one. Please only get one. Just let it happen one time where my opponent doesn't. And he's getting both, of course. Gives me 1,000 life points for free. Love that. He gets one card. I get 1,000 life points. That's 999 more things than he has. He summons the Asura Priest. Attacks for 700. I will go ahead and get myself a Mystic Tomato. We'll get the Sinister Serpent into rotation, because we have the Graceful Charity. We'll go ahead now and activate Graceful Charity. Drawing Ring of Destruction, Heavy Storm, Pot of Greed, pitching obviously Sinister Serpent, and probably Jinzo, because we have the Decree. I see you there, Beast Beats. I notice you. We'll then activate the Pot of Greed. Drawing Mystic Tomato, Premature Burial. Let's go ahead and I think we summon Goblin Attack Force and try to attack. He's 23. It will go to defense. Main phase 2 will set Ring of Destruction and end. The alternative was going to be Premature Burial, bring back Jinzo, and start putting a bunch of damage onto the field. We'll Ring of Destruction, because we have the Decree. Okay. Funny enough, he has his own Decree, so guess we aren't going to be worrying about back row this game. Card Destruction. And we'll draw 5. Drawing Gigantes, Reinforcement of the Army, Brain Control, Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke, and Dark Dust Spirit. And he has the Delinquent Duo. I mean, he just drew a bunch of new cards. So it's going to be what it is. Hitting Gigantes, and we'll send the... We'll send the Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke to the graveyard. He sets a back row. Could be the scapegoat. I feel like it's a scapegoat. We'll activate Rhoda. Getting ourselves the Dawn. And we'll try to attack directly into the scapegoat, obviously. Alright, we'll end our turn. He's going to almost certainly make the Metamorphosis play. No, just a Serra Priest. We'll eat 300. We draw Mirror Force. Unfortunate draw given our situation with the Royal Decrees and Heavy Storm being gone. We'll set Brain Control and end. Maybe he Heavy Storms, allowing us to then use the Mirror Force later. But yeah, I feel like he's going to start just poking us for 1,700. We draw Mind Control. I guess this is what happens when you run too many stealing effects. Oh, Beast Beats, where'd you go? Draw Soul Release. Can we draw, like, anything? Just a freaking Goblin Attack Force. Something, please. Go ahead and activate the Soul Release. Banishing his lights. And maybe the card destruction. There, you're back. Okay. He's going to summon a Serra Priest to attack again. Please, 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 Rhoda or Goblin Attack Force. Something. Kaiku, fantastic. At least now we force him to make the Metamorphosis play. Because he's got the board presence. Draws Berserk Grilla. We'll eat 200 damage, and Kaiku will go to grave. He sets one back row and ends. We'll go ahead and Brain Control, taking the Berserk Grilla, tributing for Dark Dust Spirit, and declaring the effect. Probably should have tried to MST one of these back row, because I imagine we're going to hit another Scapegoat right now. No? Okay. We'll set Mind Control, end phase. Dark Dust will come back to hand. Probably should have actually set Mirror Force and MST, because that's going to be like the only way we can potentially beat this Serra Priest right now. But I imagine with a Decree on field, he's going to be special summoning a Chaos Monster, which, same thing. Looking back, you know, that was a massive misplay. My only chance of being able to survive right now with only 1,900 life points is to have a Mirror Force and MST set. He has just a light engrave, no dark. Then yeah, so this is game. GG's. I don't know why I thought he was running more traps. What's he saying? He sides out all his monsters? Yeah, okay, so, Well, he did have a spell, or a trap. He had the scapegoat. Alright. Well, thank you all for watching. You know, unfortunately, 2 losses back to back. Not the way I like playing this game, but it happens to everyone. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.